Hey, what's up? So last video, I gave my impressions on the Unihertz Jelly Star. This video, I'm going to talk about the AGM M7. Next video will be about the Sonim XP5S. So this phone is part of my self-discovery journey, figuring out how to not be tethered to a smartphone, as most people my age are. I'm about 30-ish, by the way. I'm gonna leave it at that. So this phone, the AG M7, is an interesting one. If you guys have ever heard about the Cat S22 Flip, this is basically that phone, but in candy bar form. The Cat S22 Flip is an Android phone with a flip form factor. This is an Android phone with a candy bar factor, which I personally prefer. Although flipping is very cool, opening up the phone is an extra step, and you don't always want that. So right off the bat, you'll notice this looks like an old school phone, and right off the back of the phone, you'll notice this speaker is about 1/4 the size of the entire phone. It gets really, really loud. But the ironic thing is that if you see here, the volume is mapped to the keypad. That's really, really stupid. That means when you're listening to something, you cannot change the volume right away. You have to go to the main screen and change the volume there. I'll show you. So here you go. You unlock, you press this, or you swipe to unlock. So let's go to menu, go to music. I'm going to play one of the default songs here. So actually I lied. You can change the volume when you're in music, but if you're in YouTube or something, that application, which you can download here, you have to be over here, press up or down to change the ring. And you notice that I paused by tapping. This has a touchscreen on it. This is what I mean by it being an Android phone. It can be touched, which is kind of cool. Now, the issue with that is there are some parts of the phone that you cannot use with just the buttons. You have to touch the screen to do so. It's very annoying if you want to use this like an old school phone. Now, if you get a phone with a touchscreen, you can't complain that it requires a touchscreen, of course. But normally someone would be getting a phone like this to get away from smartphone life with a touchscreen. So it kind of sucks that you can't just solely use the phone with the D-pad. Let me give you an example of this. I'm going to go to Google. So let's say I want to search something. I can't. I am going through the default apps here. I want to go to the search bar, but I can't. It gives me the runaround all the way to the home symbol up here. I go down, brings me to the apps. How the hell do I search anything? I have to touch it. So let's touch. I look up yo-yos, as I want to do. Go down, I'm going down to tap, and the experience is miserable. So much so that I just want to touch instead. Oh, wow. Defeats the purpose of getting a phone like this early. So that's pretty annoying. The touchscreen is very cool in that you can download any app you want on this phone, pretty much. I can't guarantee it'll work, but you can download pretty much any app on here, and you can use the touchscreen to get it to work. So, it's kind of a helping hand. If you really can't do what you want to do with the buttons, you can always just use the screen to touch. So one thing I don't like about this phone, I know I'm giving a lot of dislikes here, but it comes pre-installed with Facebook, and it comes pre-installed with TikTok. I already removed TikTok, but I do not like that it comes pre-installed with American spyware and Chinese spyware. It's like, can I live here? Jesus. So the first thing I did when I got the phone was activate developer options and use WebADB to remove TikTok. Like I said, this is an Android phone. So you can, pull this down and just navigate it like an Android phone. Go to settings, you'll see this, and should be familiar to most Android users. This is running Android, I don't know, 8.1. Pretty far back. But it works, right? So like I said, the volume being up here in the D-pad section is pretty bad. It makes it so listening to music is kind of annoying. You can't just instantly pause or anything like that. You can remap this button to go straight to a music app if you want to, but you know, it's still not ideal. So this comes with a flashlight as well. You can activate it by holding this, which is the preset, or down here, the 0 is always the flashlight. And you can also hold the asterisk to wipe all the tasks. So you can save battery this way. When you're done using the phone, just hold asterisk and then it'll wipe everything and then you're done. You can also hold pound to switch the profile, the sound profile to do not disturb, on, vibrate, all that stuff. So like I said, this is pretty much just a shitty Android phone in a candy bar phone's body, which will work for a lot of people for sure. Now for me, what I found is that having a touch screen just makes it so that the point of this phone is there's almost no point. Because with my previous phone, rather the phone I still have here, Jelly Star, see a screen size here, right? This has a screen size of 3 inches. This is 2.6, I think. So at this point, you're basically getting this phone and adding this onto it. It's like, what is really the point of that? Because you can't just use this phone as an old school phone. You have to use a touchscreen for certain things. That's the annoying part. So it's kind of this weird, terribly performing jelly phone with a keypad attached to the bottom. It is cool. I won't lie. It is cool to have a phone in this form factor with touchscreen, but if you're going to be going for a phone like this, you probably have different intentions than using it as a shitty Android phone with the keypad. You probably want to chill out with your life and use a phone that looks, or rather acts how it looks, I should say. The camera, by the way, is complete dog shit. Let's see if I can find it here. It does have 2 cameras. It has one in the back right here, one in the front. But that doesn't really matter. This looks really not good. Like, really, really not good. And if you want to flip it around, this looks really like, welcome to 2001, buddy. Jesus Christ. So, yeah. I'm not exactly sure who the phone is for, but if you do happen to want a phone this form factor that has a pretty decent battery, assuming you're not addicted to it. Assuming you're not addicted to it, it'll last you 2 days, no problem. If you're using it as you would a normal smartphone, as an average person does, it'll last you the day. So still pretty decent because the screen is very low resolution, so it won't eat up as much battery as it otherwise would. Would I recommend this phone? Like I said, if you want a phone that looks like this, but is basically a small, poorly performing Android, yes. And I'm not saying that to call it a piece of shit phone. It does what it does okay. My main issue is basically the volume rocker and the inability to use the entire phone from here down. You have to use a touchscreen for certain things. That sucks. They don't give you a choice. You would think with a phone like this, you have a choice. Oh, I want to use like an old school phone, or oh, I want to use it entirely as a regular smartphone. You think you'd have that choice, but you don't. You have to use a touch screen for certain things, and that sucks. So, yeah. Decent though, only about $100 on Amazon. So, this looks cool for you. You want to mod it, try to put GT. I think you can put games on here and put like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas or something. I saw a guy on YouTube do that. So you can do that if you want to play like this or whatever. I don't know. It's all right, It's okay. That's basically the review. It's okay.